Hello everyone! We have a video with a quick roundup of information. The group stage of the Copa Libertadores 2025 has ended. Some played it, others watched it comfortably from their living room couch at home. Hey guys, is this over now? River's inconsistency showed that they couldn't do it. They could have made it in as one of the best first place teams. They're fourth. If River had beaten Universitario recently, they would be second behind Palmeiras as a top first place team. By drawing with the Peruvian team, River ended up in fourth place below Palmeiras from São Paulo and Racing. What does this mean? It means that River will play the deciding match at home against all the opponents they face except for these three: Palmeiras, São Paulo and Racing. If we had beaten Universitario, the only team we would have played the deciding match away against would have been Palmeiras. Does this change anything? Until last year, I would have said yes. Seeing how inconsistent River has been at home and how hard it is for them to take control in some matches, honestly, that's what... Let's go and decide it as visitors. Now let's analyze what we might get, what we could get, what's in the second pot, in the pot of the second teams, if you'll pardon the redundancy, and what we could get. Next Monday at 12 noon is the CONMEBOL draw. And as always, we'll be reacting live with you there. We'll be chatting. Don't spoil anything for me. Nobody writes anything. We'll react to it live. We'll find out together what we get. And what is River's path to a hypothetical final in Lima? Who could River face? Botafogo, Peñarol, Flamengo, Nacional from Colombia, Libertad from Paraguay, Fortaleza, Universitario, we already know them, and Cerro Porteño from Paraguay. At first glance, do you see it? And Botafogo, Libertadores champion, is not the same team as last year, and Fortaleza is also a Brazilian team, but give them to me, they're not a team. I still prefer the others over the only scary one here. The obvious one is Flamengo, which will have a huge budget and might completely change its team, and they have good players. These guys are comfortable, but when in good shape, they can really outperform you. Would River play the second leg of the round of 16 at home? Do they definitely play at home? Against any of these 8, I'd say to avoid, in theory, Botafogo, Fortaleza, and Flamengo. I would like, even though it's not one of the easiest of these 8, to play against Peñarol because of this rivalry that started, because of the guy Fernandez, who I don't know if he's still playing soccer or doing something else. I would like to play against Peñarol. We also have a friendly rivalry with some Uruguayan friends. I would like to, we could do a live stream beforehand with Santiago del Paredón, with Fer from Peligro de Ola, chatting and teasing each other a bit. I would like to play against the Uruguayan team, but Cerro Porteño, Universitario, Libertad and Atlético Nacional, with all due respect, seem to me to be teams of lower quality. Afterwards, you have to see what happens on the field. River failed to beat Barcelona at home and Universitario, ending an inconsistent semester as they head into the Club World Cup. A lot of people are talking about Franco Masantuono. They've already started saying from France that Paris Saint-Germain, let the journalists who cover the transfer market not do any harm. People, don't mess with his head. Let the kid focus on River. He's already been called up to the national team. We'll also react to the national team's matches. Honestly, people, don't mess with his head. The kid is still young. He needs to mature. He needs to stay at River. And even without so many millions going around, it's the same. It's something inevitable because everyone is already talking about this. I don't believe now is the right moment for Juanfe Quintero to return. As I mentioned on the live, I'm grateful and he gave me the greatest joys of my life, football-wise, but I don't think it's the right time. It's premature to discuss signings, arrivals, or departures. Calm down. Still, there's not much time left before River's first match against Urawa Red Diamond. Shall we propose something to you? If this video gets 4,500 likes, if this video gets that many likes, and tomorrow we'll react with you and chat about everything a bit until the Champions League final. Both here on YouTube and on Kik, for those who want to follow us there, Fútbol y Menudencias on Kik. We're starting on the new platform to open up more opportunities. Alright folks, speaking of this is a video with a quick mix of information. Something very serious happened. Yesterday on a radio show on Radio Mitre, Anelo explained why there's a journalist from Boca who at some point switched to River, I realize. Actually we know it, but he's talking about that guy. He lied, did some things, but well, it it's better to hear it from him, and let's talk a bit about this.
How did Riquelme lie to Boca? Because the numbers I have here lead to a final conclusion. I take full responsibility for it, not my colleagues. Y Gabriel Alberto Anelo. I had a colleague here who was manipulating us all the time, and was getting paid by Riquelme. The truth is that you can argue, you can fight, you can have a lot of disagreements. Now, I'm not going to allow someone at my work table, regardless of everyone's ideology, to be getting money from Riquelme. Not from Riquelme, nor from anyone else.
What was your role at River Plate? Press for the team and coaching staff? I thought you were with Boca Juniors now, but you're actually here as a journalist on the show. No, because I've gone face-to-face with Riquelme, always, never. Nope. I haven't seen Roman in a long time. Can we talk about him? No. Why?
Why is the guy broad-minded?
You're white. You're white your whole life. Or you're a mercenary.
Yes, for a long time. To me, to my colleagues, and to you listeners, I lied. I lied shamelessly for economic interests. That's why he's no longer at this table. Saying every day. I also did a television show on the same channel as this person, which made the situation even stranger since we had worked together. It was strange that every time I said something out loud, the guy was on his phone. Well, he was getting messages from Chanchi Riquelme, and he would tell him on the show what he had to say on the side. He lied to him the whole time. With the Bombonera, with it's done, it's coming, the construction, it's coming, the budget is coming, it's coming, gentlemen of Boca, it's done. And I was telling him something that wasn't based on information, but on common sense. We're going to be able to say what's coming, and this is exclusive and pure information. This is not opinion. This is information, what we're giving to Boca's members. Let's not jump to conclusions about La Bombonera being remodeled, as it's only June. The assembly is coming up, and we have to see if it's presented at the assembly. Because the remodeling of La Bombonera, a multi-million-dollar project, has to have its budget approved by the assembly.
Well, folks, what he's saying is very serious. Now you wake up and realize, why are there journalists who keep lying forever about the remodeling of La Bombonera? Honestly, we take it as something amusing. We've made a ton of reports about something they keep promising but never actually happens. They add 10 seats and open a new folder just for the beverage truck to get in. It makes you question their decisions. One team grows as much as River and the other is stuck in absolute nothingness. And they lie to them, even the fans of that club lie to them. I'm questioning many things based on what I just witnessed. What is it? How did this guy end up working at River? How did this guy end up covering River? When he worked at Radio La Red with Niembro, you saw him as the one who defended you. A journalist covering Boca, possibly Martin Costa, used to argue with the team, making one question if he was defending them. Then you realize that no, he wasn't the press chief. At some point he talks about it. Well, it's obvious that Gabriel Anelo is referring to this guy because he was the one working with him. The one who, according to Anelo, came with fresh information from the council for some reason that he explains, and you believed him. The ongoing remodeling of the Bombonera isn't a new topic. As mentioned, we've created numerous videos about it. Here I found a very interesting article from the 70s that says, well, secure your best spot. Be among the first to subscribe to your seat or box to ensure the best location and special launch prices. Subscription for 25 years. Well, this inauguration was scheduled for May 25th, 1975. And they show a completely enclosed stadium. They were already scamming people then. It mentions Boca's pharaonic dream, which ended in the river. And there's a little note here that I found really funny. What does it say? The project described island connected by bridges, acrylic fountains with dancing waters, sports docks, an aquarium shaped like a fish, and a revolving cafe at the top of a tower. Tennis courts, amphitheaters, a chapel, an amusement park, swimming pools. All that and much more on a handful of artificial islands reclaimed from the river.
A spaceflight system through which, from a platform that might be installed in the province of Cordoba.
These spacecraft will leave the atmosphere, they will rise up to the stratosphere, and from there, choose the place they want to go.
Ciudad Deportiva, boludo. They were totally lying. Closer to the present, we have this cover from Diario Clarín featuring Gabriel de Sabatini. It's a news story, year 1992. They already had a budget for a retractable acrylic roof project at $80 million. What happened with that? And if you start looking in some newspaper, you'll find a ton of news in old newspapers on websites. You say, Boludo has a history of lying to people, and you realize why. Besides, I realize that I have friends from Boca who are a people. The Boca people are a people who don't rebel. They like to be taken for fools. With the coach, with this, with that. Honestly, the phrase, how different we are, has never been more true. How different we are. Those with the acrylic sunroof were going to get roasted under an acrylic roof. I'm constantly amazed by these guys. My capacity for astonishment is never satisfied when it comes to them. Alright folks, thanks for joining us. To wrap up the video, a nice colorful pill. Yesterday, French fans were asked who is more popular, River or Boca? ESPN asked the question to play to their own advantage, and it backfired on them.
Which is the most popular Argentine team?
I think River Boca. In France, there is a particular fondness for Boca Juniors. For Boca Juniors, it has to be said, River. I think because of the players, the significance.
And the greatness of the team. River Plate. Well, the biggest team, right? The 11 most, what the Boca fans say, River Plate. For me, it's River Plate. And just because I know them, like Julian Alvarez, and then there are many good players, young players that came from there, and just like that, Newell's old boys. Because I knew Messi from there when he was young and played there.
I like River Plate Boca Juniors because my favorite player, Diego Armando Maradona, played there, Boca Juniors. Boca Juniors or Newell's? I forgot the name, but for me it's Boca Juniors. Estudiantes.